What is Google advertising and how can you use it to benefit your business in the most affordable way possible? I say affordable because you can lose your pants and shirt if you're not careful with Google advertising. That's what we're going to be discussing today. I'm going to try and keep it short, simple, and hopefully you can take some value out of it. Now, in the previous video, we discussed the buyer's journey, and that's the process a person goes to, or the stages a person goes to before they make a purchase, and how you can interact with them at each level. And usually this buyer's journey starts with a search on Google. As a matter of fact, there's about 3 billion, that's correct, billion with a B, searches conducted on Google every day. That's almost a search for every 2 people on the planet. That's a lot of queries going through Google. So then what Google says is that we know who's looking for what. And if you want these people to find you when they're looking for a product or service like yours, we can charge you a little bit, depending on so many other factors, which we'll get into in just a moment. We can charge you a little bit and we'll show you results right on top. Because we know most people, including yourself and myself, don't go past the first page of search results when we're looking for something on the internet. So if there's only 15 results there, chances are your website is not one of them. It is very difficult to get there. So Google offers an alternative. Let's take an example of a restaurant in Port Elizabeth. Now Google knows every month there's about 1,000 people or 1,000 searches for restaurants in Port Elizabeth, that specific phrase. Now you go to Google and you say, hey, I'm willing to pay 10 Rand every time you show my result and someone clicks on it. You show my restaurant and someone clicks on it. But guess what? You might not be the only person who wants to appear in front of people who are searching for restaurants in Port Elizabeth. In which case, Google says, hey, you're not the only one. There's about 100 of you. So what I'm going to do as Google, because I am going to show the results of whoever is willing to pay the most. So you say 10 Rand, the next person will say 15 Rand. Doesn't mean your advert is not going to be shown, but theirs takes preference over yours. So the more people are targeting the same kind of phrases or keywords, the more expensive it gets. This is the keyword competition. And when you go to do a Google keyword research, you'll see this, they will show you the level of competition for each keyword and what they suggest you must bid for it. But you don't care about the technicalities. What you want is results for your business. So if you run a restaurant, you want people to come to your restaurant as a result of them seeing your restaurant on Google advertising. On the other hand, if you're a B2B, business-to-business owner, for instance, if you provide services, you need to think about how much is each customer or each deal worth to you. And then the key is to put an outcome, determine an outcome that you want out of this whole process. So for example, I worked with a software company here in the Eastern Cape, and the owner of that company was very simple and straightforward to me. When I started, I wanted to, I was throwing all these fancy jargon and phrases to him. And he said, you know what? He didn't say it like this, but he said, you know what? I don't really care for any of that. All I care about is that I get inquiries. Because I know if I can get an inquiry that's solid, that's qualified, I can follow through with it. So you put the processes in place and you get me the inquiries. How you do it, I don't care. And the second thing he cares about, which we all should, is how much it costs per inquiry, per conversion. So for example, if he is going to sign a specific deal that's worth 200,000, he's willing to spend 20,000 acquiring that customer. That's part of the cost of sale, or in this case, cost of acquisition. So whenever that your cost of acquisition goes too high, you don't want that. And unfortunately, when we do deal with agencies, when we deal with experts in this field, they bamboozle us with all the jargon. So they will say to you, hey, you didn't get many inquiries, but guess what? You got 2,500 impressions, you got 100,000 impressions. None of those things matter to you. And the moment you start squeezing out of them, what did I get? What business did I get? How does this lead to business? Or how did this lead to success over the last 6 months that we've been doing this? The more they'll be forced to work hard. So make sure you ask the right questions, because I assume that you're not, for the most part, going to be doing this by yourself. If you're a business owner, you're too busy for that. If you are the person doing this, please be fair to people you're doing it for. So it's all about experimenting and testing with your team, with your agency, with your consultants, to get to the result, the outcome that you want at the most reasonable cost possible. That's the key, that's the bottom line, that's what you should care about. But that's the essence of Google advertising. They know who's looking for what, and for a small fee, or sometimes a very large fee, they are willing to show or to place your product or service in front of these people when they're searching for these things. It's a very effective way of marketing, because if you, or advertising, because if you do it correctly, then you can figure out the intention of the person and what they're searching for, which will tell you in which stage of the buying process they're in. Are they closer to buying, or are they just doing research? So for example, if a person is looking for, if I'm a travel agency and I'm selling tickets to Mauritius, when a person is looking for holiday destinations in Africa, that person is nowhere near buying a ticket to Mauritius, if I'm selling Mauritius packages. But if a person is starting to search for, let's say, what to pack when you go to Mauritius, now we know they've either bought the ticket already, or they're very, very close to going to Mauritius. They've already decided, so they're on the second stage. And you can watch the video. If you're watching it on Facebook, you can find it in our videos section of Facebook, where what stages people go through and how you can position yourself to cater to them in each stages. Now, I'm not saying it's wiser to be right at the bottom when a person has already made a decision. No, it's not necessarily the case, because often that's where everybody is. And if you are the guy who's helping them and finding the right destination to go to when they're at the beginning of their searching, you will have a very good opportunity to sell them a ticket to Mauritius, or to sell them a package, a holiday package to Mauritius when they're ready to buy a holiday package. So we got to be there for our clients, our prospective clients, our potential clients in every step of the journey. And you can do that through Google advertising in a smart way, which leads to more business in a very cost-effective way. Let's not get bamboozled by all the terms and by all the impressions and all these things that they will try to throw at you, and focus on the real outcomes that you're looking for. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, comment, share wherever you're watching this from. If you have any questions, also please put them down there or up there, wherever it is, and we'll try to get to them in our next video. Until next time, bye-bye.